communicate with Earth. But when it came back, there wasn't any contact, no signal, and NASA is trying to figure out what to do about it. The last scientific data that was valuable that came from MAVEN was the data from the passage of 3I Atlas close to Mars within 30 million kilometers. That happened on October 2nd. We saw some of the data in the press conference that NASA organized recently, but somehow this spacecraft is not available anymore now. And we saw some data from it. Well, it's not up to NASA. There are hundreds of observatories around the globe that will observe it. It's actually a very fortunate coincidence that the new moon occurs on December 19th when 3 Atlas is closest to Earth, so there wouldn't be any moonlight contaminating the images that we get. There will be also data obtained by the Webb telescope, the Hubble telescope. There are too many telescopes available for anyone to block that data. And what I'm looking forward to is, in particular, knowing the speed of the gas in the jets that we see around the 3 Atlas. One of them is towards the sun, very surprising. We don't see that very often. And if we know the speed and we know the composition of those jets, we can figure out if there are just pockets of ice that are sublimated when exposed to sunlight, or perhaps some technological thrusters. Yeah, it's surprising because the director of national intelligence, who is supposed to know everything, delivered more than 3 reports to the US Congress in recent years, basically testifying that there are objects in the sky that we don't fully understand. And that means that we don't have enough data to figure out their nature. If they were produced by American companies, we would know about it. The director of national intelligence will not talk about it, but she did. And therefore, I must assume that the government has a problem. It's a problem of national security. You don't expect the Pentagon officials to disclose the information because they don't want to be scrutinized. We are paying $1 trillion a year on the defense budget, and they're not doing their job.